Star Goro almost happened. Yeah, that's, we got a lot to discuss today. What's up, guys? Dynasty, and yes, indeed, it turns out that over the weekend, it was discovered that several different early concept art designs for the MKU Mortal Kombat 2021 movie were recently officially revealed by the guys who designed them, What a Workshop. So today, I'll be going over all these early designs that were scrapped and kind of used for some inspiration, and guys, it's a lot! It's like 30 or 40 images, so everything will of course be linked down below. I'll not go over every single image, but yeah, it's a lot to doozy, and some of these are not hits by any means, including what I just showed you earlier. So with that said, let's break this stuff down, let's have some fun, take a shot, wipe the sweat off your forehead, because it seems like we might have dodged a few bullets. First things first, though, let's start off with everyone's favorite Terran, Sizoth, aka Reptile. Now, the description for the Reptile designs says this: in 2019, we were brought in to work with director Simon McQuoid, helping establish some key design elements for the Mortal Kombat film. For the film version of Reptile, the decision was made to move away from the more humanoid designs often featured in the games and embrace the animalistic nature of his name. Now, here is the very first design they have shared on their art station for Reptile, and honestly, it's not too far off from what we saw in the movie. It's just, Reptile looking like a lizard, like a whole-ass Komodo dragon or something, and the next design is pretty much the exact same pose, which I think is so funny because this is the pose that Reptile is making in the movie where his acid spit helps free out Kano from his chains, so pretty funny how the concept art was already that in-depth, but yeah, Reptile now from the sewers to on top of a building. This third design is pretty much just like the second design, except the face is altered slightly. Obviously, his tongue is now just ready to strangle anybody, and the green, the color, the tone is just slightly off. I don't really like this design too much. The spikes are a bit different too. I don't know. I think number 2 is probably my personal favorite. They even go as far as to showing you the other modeling for the characters as well. Like, for instance, here's like the 3D modeling for the last design. And here's the 3D modeling for the design that was actually used, I believe, in the movie, which is very similar to the second design. So, yeah, pretty cool to see. Now, this final design right here, I think, is going to be quite shocking. They almost went with a Reptile that looks like this. Like he's a frilled neck lizard or something. Like he's belongs in the movie Holes. Shia LaBeouf, where are you? Yeah. They almost turned our boy Reptile to this, which I have thoughts. Several thoughts of it. It's a nice take. It's a nice take, but it's definitely in its own field. I think that would have pissed off a lot of Reptile fans. Keyword, Mortal Kombat, not Turok. So there you go. Those are all the concept art designs for Reptile in the movie. I still think this one right here takes the cake, hence why it's pretty similar to what we saw in the movie. But yes, all the concept designs for Reptile. Which one do you think is the best? Now let's make our way to Big Daddy Goro. Now, this is the first design that was revealed for Goro, and it's almost like it's Golem meets Snoke meets Voldemort meets, someone in the comment section help me out here, but yes, the obvious difference here is the usual ponytail is just free-flowing. Goro showing off that he uses Head and Shoulders like Troy Polamalu, but, it's interesting to say the least. Now, the second design at least looks a bit more like the Goro that we've grown to love over the years. It even says that the concept's partially inspired by some of the original Goro costume designs from the game, which I don't know why you wouldn't take influence from the game. This is a movie based on the game. Why are you making your own stuff? You see, he has gauntlets here. He doesn't look so empty and naked like the last photo, but something about our boy's skin just looks like he's already had his soul stolen. But gotta say, the idea of his arm gauntlets, his armor actually showing off some noteworthy past victories is a great idea. We should steal that and use that for Mortal Kombat 12 because it's pretty sick. Make it more than just armor. Let it tell a story. Give Goro some depth here, and I think that's a step in the right direction. Not too shabby, at least in that regard. The next 2 designs are, they're pretty rough. Now, the third concept design for Goro is this one right here, where he has 2 normal-size arms and 2 baby arms, like he's channeling his inner Deadpool, and I really don't know what they were thinking, other than maybe this was like a Lord of the Rings movie or something, but if this was the Goro that Cole Young fought for 3 minutes and killed, I think I would have been happy with him killing this version of Goro, not the Goro we saw in the movie. In this regard, I would have been like, yes, kill this thing. Take this abomination off the screen. But It's not the move. I appreciate the attempt at something different. I even kind of like the elf ears. It just looks like something out of Lord of the Rings, which is great, but this just isn't the Goro that we've grown to love. So yeah, this one's a yikes from me. And again, if you thought that the final design here was gonna get any better, surprise, we almost had a Centaur Goro, which again is an interesting take. It's definitely different, but who asked for this? Who's been clamoring for this take on Goro? Like, oh god. Oh. You see, usually I wouldn't be too worried about designs like this in concept art, but this is so out of left field, I honestly don't know what they were thinking. If we got anything close to this, I think I would have had a heart attack. But hey, at least we know they can design Mataro now. Just swap a few things around, and just like that, we have our Centaur King. But there you go. Wipe the sweat off your forehead, because I know if you're like me and you're a diehard fan, this is probably something you never wanted to see in your life, and now you have a scarred image in your head for the rest of the day. You can relax now. It's over. As for what they were going for, though, this is the description for all these Goro designs. It says, our work on Goro was done early in pre-production, helping explore alternates anatomical options that gave him a more creature feel. Could definitely see that, but would still be recognizable as Goro to those who've played the games. Resolving his underlying anatomy to realistically allow for 2 sets of arms was a great design challenge to try to solve. Significant thought was also put into how this Goro would move and interact with his opponents, hoping to provide the chance for unique choreography in his fight sequences. So that is everything from the Goro set of designs that didn't happen. Next up, Jax Briggs, or in this case, more precisely, Jax Briggs's robotic arms. And thankfully, unlike the last 2 set of concept designs, for Jax, it's simply his arms, and by no means are any of these designs bad. It's really just different alterations, variations of what Jax's robotic arms could have been. Honestly, I could see all of these being gear pieces in Mortal Kombat 11. Like, they're not bad at all, I promise. The description here reads, Jax presented a unique challenge. After losing his real arms, he would be given a new makeshift set of robotic limbs. Only by harnessing the power of his arcana would the arms evolve into a much stronger set. The augmented arms needed to retain a visual link to the earlier versions. We explored this through their materiality and constructions. Now, I'm going to just simply showcase these in a slideshow because, again, it's like 11, 12 different images, and again, they're not bad. All of these they could have used, and I don't think anybody would have complained. There's not one that stands out where I'm like, disgusting. Like, no, all of these could have worked. It's interesting too how in some of these concept images, Jax has a gigantic MK Dragon logo just marked on his chest. Whew, I think we might have dodged a bullet, at least on that. So, kind of glad there wasn't a giant tattoo on our boy's chest, but other than that, these aren't too bad. I think there's maybe a few of them that look a bit corny, but for the most part, pretty solid. I even like how a few of the designs have him rocking the ski vest. Annihilation vibes. Maybe in the sequel he'll rock that. So, boom! There you go. Different arms for Jax Briggs. What could have been? Finally, at last, Cole Young. Now, the description for Cole says this. Says, Cole was a new character created for the film, so he required a significant design process to uncover his personalized arcana. We tried to find ways relating Cole's arcana to his Japanese heritage. Zen gardens, basket weaving, tattooing, and traditional art. Cole's MMA background was also a starting point for the bandaging look. This is pretty cool because it shows you the full creation of Cole Young's character, starting off with this right here, his Arcana suit, rocking also the Johnny Cage MK1 pants. From there, they provided a breakdown of his Arcana suit in stages. So you have stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Now, the next concept image says strands of keratin emerge from the arm and weave intricately together. So this is how the suit was designed, at least how the suit would come to be. Now, the next image right here is interesting because it shows off potential uses of the suit. If it was vines wrapping around our boy's arms, and you can see we have Cole Young climbing the wall, channeling his inner Spider-Man. So don't be surprised if in the next movie Cole Young is scaling a skyscraper with just using his arcana, because apparently it's It's been discussed. Now, the next image is simply just Cole Young rocking his weapons, and then from there, we get a full breakdown of his weapons. It says A, B, and C. Different options here. Japanese Tonfa-based weapon. From there, we get again A, B, and C based on the Japanese kama. Then from there, we get an image showing off the whole breakdown of how the suit would just interweave into his arms. I think this looks really sick, especially consider that, well, they even tossed in for the final image Cole Young's basket. MK11 gear option confirmed. But jokes aside, that's pretty much all I got for you guys today. The last two sets of concepts really weren't too crazy. I like how they pretty much showed the whole breakdown of Cole's character and Jax's, alterations of his arms, but Goro and Reptile, those are pretty dramatic, so I think we might have dodged a few bullets by those concepts, just simply remaining concepts. Hopefully it stays that way, because I really don't want to see Centaur Goro ever. That's a cursed image in my head that, again, will be in my mind all day. Anyways, though, what do you guys think of all these designs? Have you seen these before? What image stood out the most to you? Did you like any of these? Let me know in the comment section down below. Of course, before I go, want to say this video is being brought to you by G2A.com. In case you've not heard the news, you can no longer buy MK9 for sale on Steam. However, using the link down below, you can purchase an MK9 Steam key through G2A.com. Once you buy the key, redeem that key in your Steam account, and just like that, even though it's no longer being sold officially on Steam anymore, nice little workaround to still get MK9 with all the DLC in your library, even though it's no longer being sold through Steam. So if you are interested in that, again, link down below. Till next time, been your host, been Dynasty. Guys, please take care, stay safe. Gotta love concept art, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
You see, I've been a fan of Dynasty for years now. GTA, MK, and Justice, I'm still down. Rapper meets gamer, I wonder how y'all feel now. That was just a setup, watch it get real now. Okay, so me and Sub-Zero was born in 92, and lyrically I inherited all his fighting moves. A lot of y'all still lost, don't have the slightest clue. The truth disappears in the smoke as if